If you're here right now, it probably means you've been feeling something shift lately. And no, this shift is not dramatic. It's not loud. It's not something anyone else would even notice, but you feel it. A little more stillness, a little more clarity, maybe a little more distance from the things you used to chase all the time. And no, this is not a phase. It's not being off. That's really the beginning of the shift from girlhood to womanhood. And it doesn't happen all at once. It's not some sort of glow up or some sort of magic moment that you feel instantly. This change is slow. It's subtle. It's internal. And it really starts when you stop needing someone to say you're doing okay and you begin deciding that for yourself. It's when you stop performing and start protecting. When you begin living from alignment rather than from approval. So this video is a space to name that, like a FaceTime call with someone who gets it. Not a lecture, just a conversation. One mindset shift at a time. So if you're ready to stop questioning your growth, to trust your quiet evolution and step fully into your next chapter, then this is your moment, and it starts here. It starts now. Welcome to the Chic Evolution, your ultimate destination for fashion, beauty, and empowerment. I am a former top model and multiple beauty pageant winner. I've had the privilege of walking the runways from America to Europe. I've graced magazine covers, and my passion for helping others has empowered me to uplift those around me. So join me as I share insider tips on style, confidence, and living your best chic life. Because at the Chic Evolution, confidence is always in season. Welcome back to my channel. Over here, we talk all things femininity, style, and self-development. So if you're into that and you're ready to just keep evolving and refining your mindset and elevating your life, go ahead and subscribe to my channel and like this video for more content like this. And if you are new on this channel, over here, we like to start each video by lighting up a candle, not just for the ambiance, but as a quiet reminder that this space is all about intentional living. Slowing down, just elevating the everyday. Whether you're watching this with coffee, with a cup of tea, or just between errands, or just anytime. So essentially, this moment is your invitation to pause, to breathe, and to just come back to yourself. So if you have a candle nearby, you're warmly invited to light it with me. And if you'd like, please stay tuned until the end so we can blow it out together. So I always close each video with a positive, uplifting message to send you into your day with clarity and with calm. So here's our candle of the day. Let's begin. And we're going to start with this. Girlhood seeks permission. Womanhood honors alignment. You know that feeling when you overthink something for hours, and the minute someone says, "You did great, by the way," you finally just like exhale? That's girlhood. It thrives on feedback, constantly, validation, approval. And not because of weakness, because you were wired to bond and to belong. That's how the brain keeps you safe when you're young, right? But after a while, it starts wearing you down because constantly adjusting, reshaping, rethinking, double checking, it's exhausting. You start wondering, why am I so drained? And the answer is because you've been outsourcing your alignment. When you switch from asking, what will they think, to, does this support the version of me I am trying to become? That's the shift. And that's what I mean when I say it's subtle, but powerful. That one question changes how you speak, how you spend, how you dress, how you respond. Psychology calls this internal regulation, when your behavior is guided by your own values, not outside expectation. And that's really when things just click. You don't need permission, you just need peace. And that peace really comes from alignment. And research from the Journal of Personality and Social Psychology confirms that those with higher internal self-regulation report greater life satisfaction and emotional balance. So basically, girlhood performs, womanhood presents. There's a big difference between showing up and showing off. In girlhood, it's all about managing how you're seen. You say things a certain way, you tone part of your personality down, or exaggerate other parts depending on who you're with. It's performance, even if it's not done on purpose. Womanhood isn't a performance. It's a steady presence. It's when you walk into a room and you're not scanning to see who approves. You're just grounded in yourself. And that doesn't mean being loud or being bold constantly for no reason. It means being settled. You don't change your tone just because someone else is louder. You don't shrink when someone else needs the spotlight. You're just consistent. When you stop performing, your nervous system finally calms down because you're no longer monitoring. You're just being. So, according to Stephen Porg's polyvagal theory, this state of calm presence is really a sign your vagus nerve is activated, which is a key part of the body's parasympathetic response, which promotes emotional safety and clarity. And you know what? Girlhood fears discomfort. Womanhood studies it. Discomfort used to feel like failure, like something had to go wrong, whether it was anxiety, awkwardness, or uncertainty. It felt like something to fix or to hide from. But here's what changes. Discomfort becomes a signal, not a sentence. You don't spiral into shame when something feels off. You pause and you ask, what is this showing me? That's when discomfort becomes a teacher instead of a threat. This is what emotional maturity actually looks like, not being emotionless, but being curious instead of reactive. Dr. Susan David, who is a psychologist at Harvard Medical School, calls this emotional agility, or ability to step out of our old emotional patterns and approach discomfort with compassion and curiosity instead of judgment. And this specifically is actually linked to better mental health, resilience, and long-term success. And another thing, girlhood overshares, womanhood selects. There's a point where you realize not everyone needs to know everything about you in order for you to feel seen. In girlhood, the instinct is to explain and explain again and then explain because being misunderstood feels unbearable. So you over-explain your no. You over-justify your yes. You really just try to manage people's impressions. But womanhood holds space for being misunderstood. That's okay. You know your reasons. You don't need to defend them constantly. You share if it's intentional. You reveal when it's selective because your inner world isn't open for public discussion. It's sacred. And this doesn't make you closed off. It makes you discerning. Neuroscience research suggests oversharing can actually be a form of social anxiety where your brain is just overcompensating in order to seek approval or avoid disconnection. When you choose to protect your energy instead, you build stronger and more authentic boundaries. And on the subject of boundaries, let's talk about this. Girlhood feels guilt for boundaries. Womanhood feels grounded in them. Saying no used to feel like hurting someone, like maybe you were being selfish or maybe you were being cold. But the truth is, boundaries are not barriers. They are the structure that lets peace exist. They teach people how to treat you. And more importantly, they teach you how to treat yourself. In womanhood, saying no doesn't come with a 12-sentence explanation. It comes with self-trust. You know that your energy can hold. You know that situations make you feel calm and what situations pull you out of alignment. And you know what? Because you know that, you honor that. And according to a 2021 study in the Journal of Counseling Psychology, practicing boundaries with confidence improves well-being, reduces stress, and strengthens relationships over time. So the guilt fades because guilt doesn't belong in the space where self-respect lives. Girlhood chases worth. Womanhood builds it. Let's sit with this for a moment. For a long time, worth felt like something you earn, something you get when you hit the goal, wear the right thing, say it the right way, stay in everyone's good graces. But at some point, that chase becomes exhausting. And you know what? Womanhood arrives when worth stops being external and starts becoming your default setting. Not because of ego, but because you know what you're worth. You know what you've learned. You know what you're holding, and you treat yourself accordingly. And Dr. Kristen Neff, who is a pioneer in self-compassion research, found that people who practice self-compassion, which includes self-worth, of course, have lower levels of anxiety and depression and higher levels of motivation. You don't need praise to take care of yourself. You just need presence. Worth becomes a lifestyle, not an outcome with that mindset. And everything else begins to reflect that. And you know what? There's a pressure in girlhood to hurry up and be impressive all the time, to collect milestones, to stay ahead, and constantly show progress, because somewhere along the way, speed got mistaken for success. You say yes before you're ready. You commit before you thought it through. You act fast just to feel like you're doing something. But womanhood doesn't confuse motion with meaning. It values stillness as much as momentum. It knows that taking a moment to ask, is this aligned with who I am, is not a weakness, it's wisdom. You stop chasing the appearance of progress and start honoring the pace that protects your peace. Intentional living isn't slow for the sake of being slow. It's spacious. It's deliberate. It gives you room to hear your own thoughts before everyone else's opinions rushes in. And in that space, your decisions get clearer. Your energy just stretches further. Your life starts to reflect you, not your timeline anxiety. It's not that ambition disappears. It just becomes more focused. You move with purpose, not panic. And that shift from rushing to rooted, that's where real confidence grows. And also in girlhood, peace often meant silence. You'd feel something off, but you'd bite your tongue. You'd want to ask a question, maybe express a need, clarify something, but you'd smile instead. Why? Because conflict felt threatening. Disagreement felt like disconnection. So you just kept the waters calm, even if it meant drowning a little inside. But womanhood doesn't mistake discomfort for danger. It knows that honest communication isn't conflict, it's care. It's self-respect. It's choosing long-term clarity over short-term ease. And the moment you start speaking from that place, not to control, not to react, but to reveal, you shift everything. This doesn't mean you become confrontational all the time. It means you become clear. You say what you mean without being cruel. You hold boundaries while taking responsibility. You express feelings without expecting someone else to fix them. And that kind of maturity, it's felt. It builds trust because people no longer have to guess where you stand because you're grounded enough to say it yourself. And eventually, you stop fearing if people will leave when you're honest because you know that the right ones won't. And the ones who do were only there for your silence anyways. There's comfort in potential. It's safe, it's untested, and full of maybes, right? In girlhood, you might have heard things like, you're smart, you could do anything. And instead of building on that, you stayed in that space, dreaming, planning, preparing, but never fully stepping in. Because when you stay in potential, you don't risk failing. But womanhood shows up. She starts before she's ready all the time. She tries, she stumbles, she learns, she keeps going. She knows that potential without action is just imagination. And that confidence isn't built in the thinking, it's built in the doing. And no, it's not always going to be perfect. Sometimes the vision doesn't even match the first draft. But she keeps showing up anyways because the work actually refines her and efforts shape her. And that commitment becomes her proof. She stops hiding behind perfectionism and starts walking in progress. Eventually, you realize you don't need to be ready all the time. You just need to be real. And showing up imperfectly is still further than standing still in your potential. This one is deep. In girlhood, so much energy is spent hoping to be picked for the opportunity, for the friendship, for the approval, for the seat at the table. You wait to be invited before you believe you're worthy of being there. You shape yourself around what others might want from you, trying to fit into spaces that were never designed with you in mind. But womanhood, oh baby, womanhood doesn't wait to be chosen. She becomes the one who chooses. She builds the table. She creates the standard. She no longer begs for belonging. She brings belonging wherever she goes. And that shift isn't about arrogance. It's about authority, not over others, but over your own life. When you choose yourself, you stop begging for crumbles. You stop shrinking. You start curating your life like it matters, because it does. Your time, your presence, your energy, it's all currency. And womanhood really means you spend it with intention. This doesn't mean you don't value connection. It means you don't trade yourself for it. And you know how you walk in? You walk in knowing that you are the opportunity. Not because someone said so, but because you decided to believe it. The shift from girlhood to womanhood isn't something anyone else needs to announce. No one needs to see it on the outside necessarily for it to be real, because it starts inside, in how you think, in what you allow, in what you walk away from without bitterness all the time. It's slow, something silent, but once it begins, it just keeps unfolding. A little more alignment, a little more self-trust, a little less urgency to prove or explain or perform. And that's the beauty of it. No one gives it to you, and no one can take it away from you. I'm gonna say this again. No one gives it to you, and no one can take it away. So if this video resonated with you, if any part of you felt seen or understood in this video, go ahead and give it a like so it can reach others who might need this reminder as well. And if you're building a life that feels like yours, slowly, intentionally, imperfectly, you're in the right place right here. So subscribe if you want more moments like this, because every video here is made to support your evolution, not your perfection. Now, if you lit a candle with me at the beginning, this is the part where we blow it out together. So just a soft exhale, a quiet signal that you showed up for yourself today. So, my chic babes, until our next encounter, let your uniqueness shine, let your self-love grow, and let your confidence inspire. And I'll see you when I will see you sooner than later. There you go. It's a wrap, baby. It's a wrap. It's a wrap. It's a wrap. It's a wrap.